You have to understand the economy that we're in. We are not in an economy no more, and it's been that way since I believe Nixon or somebody. It's been probably since the 20s, man. I don't think it started with Nixon and these other guys that are in the 50s, 40s. I think it started 1900s. Well, it stopped being backed by gold and silver, you know. Prior to it saying this note, we used to say this legal tender is a unit, silver unit, gold unit on everything. It was measured that way. But now it says this note is legal tender. Go ahead and define what a note is, a piece of paper, right? So a fiat economy is what? We just print money as we please, and because we built our empire, you know, it's just a promissory note to everybody. That's it. We promise to pay you back. Or we're gonna keep printing. You know what I mean? That's called a fiat economy. So why do you think bankruptcy is winning in this country? Because it's a fiat economy. They print. Bankruptcy, embezzlement, extreme corruption of tax money are all funding the rich people and the lobbyists and continuing this process of debt. So stacking your money up and having it all legit like that, that ain't the American way. That's the way to get it all taken away. But go ahead and establish yourself as an entity, as a corporation, as a sovereign nation, as a foundation, that where these oppressive laws that Congress passed through lobbyists do not apply directly to you. And you don't go to court. The company on paper and the lawyer goes to a cabinet meeting and deal with it there. Now, if you're, what do you call it? Like they don't accept you type of way, then they can jail you, imprison you. Well, you don't need to know all of them. You just need to know the right lawyer, the right finance group. So your entourage nowadays should be surrounded with wisdom. People, master craftsmen of how to deal with this country. You know? Of course, we all have a moral compass. You know what I mean? But at times, we have to play hardball and wake up to the economy that we're truly in. You know? They're able to go to war at their own discretion. Use tax money, use billions of dollars, give it away to Israel, and skip the taxpayers. You know what that means? That means there's big time treason applying for U.S. citizens, U.S. taxpayers. You know? How come they don't give $1 billion to Israel, then give $1 billion to us? Because we're all slaves to them. You know? So it's beautiful to get involved in a situation to where like you build up your assets, you build up your company, you build up your network, and you build up everything so where any liability that comes upon you and your assets can't be taken away because it's through an established entity, a foundation that is not applicable to these laws that are so oppressive toward the normal person of debit. The honest person that saves his money and stacks it up and does not get any loans and just pays his bill. They look at that person as, you know what? We're going to take him out. Matter of fact, we're not going to take him out. We're going to take his whole neighborhood out and build a freeway over it. You know? You know, there's some houses in some places where like, dang, how come that house, they couldn't buy that house out? Because that person is not part of the norm of the limitations that this economy has placed. And this following idea, because guess what? It takes balls. It takes balls, man. You know? Then again, the guy knows the Constitution. You know? You got to think how all Nancy Pelosi and all these Congress people became millionaires in tens and hundreds of millions all of a sudden. You know, insider trading is legal for them. Therefore, collecting Social Security for 200 years is legal for them. You know, so many things where their family benefits And they go and say like this, I don't own anything. If you look me up, I only own this. But they have access to hundreds and hundreds of millions, and they got houses all over this place. That's the American way. Why is that the American way? Because they initially stole this place. And they have a fiat economy, which means what? They print money at will. Under what? The promise that I'll pay you back. The promise is what? I'll declare war on you when I feel like it. I'll take your whole neighborhood and wipe it out, and we're gonna go ahead and build a freeway, a Home Depot center there. You know what I mean? And we ain't gonna give you no warning. We could do anything we want. But those guys that say this, you know what? I ain't showing you my license. They really know their rights. But it takes balls to do that. Not money. Balls. Then again, you gotta be appealing, man. How you gonna present yourself to these people? Sell yourself. They're gonna look at you like, we don't want this guy in this business, man. He's not even our race. He's not part of our background. But if their kids adore you, if their wife adores you, no one will deny you. You're in already. It's that simple. No more wifeys unless you got a real ass. Where do you think that song came from, man? Why pimp when wifeys will just give you money? The next thing you know, wives are like, hey, I'm going through a divorce and this and that. You know, they will break you off like crazy because they don't care. It's not their money anyway. So $50,000 a month to them being given away because they're gonna get $1 million settlement anyway. It all helps. That's all gifts. No need to pimp. One last thing. No need to ever be a rat. Why be a rat when you can make any person snitch on themselves? You know? You gotta think about leverage again. You gotta think about how information is out there and how people are available. If I start taking pictures of your kids and start posting it, you will get my attention. I will get your attention. But I'm not like that, but people do that. People do stuff like that. People put, hey man, it's all public. You know what I mean? You're out in public. I'm keeping track of you and I'm posting it. You're gonna have a little kid on the corner say hi to you and wave to you every day. You're gonna be wondering what the hell is going on. You know what I mean? People play games, man. Use technology to benefit your life. Don't be a wicked person, but don't allow them to get you. Why do you think Jesus spoke in parables? To delay his execution. He's gonna leave at his own timing. So he didn't criticize them directly, because if he did that, the Roman Empire would have whacked them the first day. What, you think you're king? I'm king. I own everyone here. Oh, don't listen to Caesar? What? Boom, you're dead. So he spoke about other people. He talked about different people. He talked about the vineyard, the robber. He talked about, you know, all these parables so you can have a deep spiritual meaning, and so also the people can understand and debate and internalize instead of have passive listening. Instead of passive listening. You know that? And at the same time, he's giving time for himself so he could spread the message. Or else, because they wanted a rebellious Messiah to get rid of the Roman Empire. But that would have distracted everybody from the message and teachings of Jesus during this time, so he didn't do that. He spoke in parables. All the way up until he started, until Peter, you know, until he started silencing his disciples. He told him, hey, Peter goes, you know what? You're the Messiah. No one told Peter, Simon Peter. He goes, hey, all you guys, keep that a secret. The Samaritan woman, keep that a secret. All the healers, all the people that he healed, keep all this a secret. You know? Until the point when he was ready to get crucified and say, yes, I'm the Messiah. I am before Abraham. You know what I mean? So they truly wanted a Messiah warlord to overturn the Roman Empire to kick him out. You know, but Jesus is wise, so that's why he used parables, so he can have his message, spiritual message, hidden. And that's why the parables was a tool to use for division. The ones that have heart to believe in what I'm saying, and the ones that are hard in the heart, as in the Pharisees and Sadducees, to be against me. That's what the parables were really about. Strong, powerful use of tactics of just speaking. You don't think the Jews and all these people dug so deep in the finance world to manipulate this whole situation to where the laws just benefit them constantly, nonstop, over and over again, even if the war breaks off, no matter what, they're just empowered because they've been money changers from the beginning of time. They mastered this. So we're in a fiat economy now. Been that way. Printing money at will. Under a promise. The death of a promise.